Welcome to Strategic Point Marketing and a quick hit for Whiteboard Webcast. I want to walk through a case study for you that happened to actually me not that long ago. Here's what happened. I moved into a new house a couple years back, and when I moved in, I had a contractor come out and sit down with me, and this is what he drops on my kitchen table. This big fat book. And as he sat there with me, he started to just flip through page by page and show me everything that he had done for other people. He just was so impressed with his own work that he never took the time to actually ask me what I was looking for as a consumer. So as I'm looking to make a hiring decision on a remodeler to come into my house and do work for me, I'm not caring what you've done for someone else. What do I care about? Me. I care about my family, my needs, and what I want. Because if I'm spending my hard-earned money on you and your services, I don't want to sit here and look at everyone else's pages, everyone else's book. I want to look at what you could do for me. Now you might say, well, by looking at these pictures, you get a feel for what type of style they can do. You're right. But this scenario, that contractor did not do that. That contractor actually sat there with a binder and just started telling me what he was going to do rather than asking me. Now you might sit back and say, oh, well, I would never do that. I would never do that. Great. Well, follow me for just a second on what happened. You like the picture of my horse? So here's a horse sticking its tongue out. And the whole saying is you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Right? So it stick its tongue out at you. You could take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. How many of you actually agree with that? When I go to conferences all over the country, here's what I hear. Everybody agrees with that. Yeah, that's a true statement. And I actually say that is an incorrect statement. Because everyone has been adjusted in today's marketplace to say, that's right, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. All you can do is provide it, but you actually have to allow the customer to make the choice. Can you make that customer buy from you without physically holding something over their head? Can you make them buy from you? And I say yes. Here's how you make that horse drink from only your pond. You turn on a heat lamp. You make sure that those heat lamps are turned on directly on that horse and making that horse so hot that it wants a drink. Then you take it to the next level. What's that next level? You make that water look so gorgeous, pristine, and smell so pure that horse, when they get a whiff of it, they say, man, I'm already so hot. And this water looks so good that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that choice. So how do we do that? It's called positioning. Horses drinking equals customers buying. Positioning, positioning, positioning. When you walk into a house, when you walk into a business and you position yourself, what do you lay down in front of that consumer? Is it something that looks professional, clean, that has a clean, clear message with your logo and what you're trying to present? Or is it something that's just very poorly put together in a 3-ring binder that you took from your kid's room because you needed something as a presentation piece and you didn't take enough time to cleanly design something? Or something like this that talks about the differences in between renting and owning your own office space. Why owning might be a better choice than renting. And then as you flip through it, understanding the process behind it. Actually positioning you. See, that contractor took that binder. So even if he did a great job, even if you disagree with my statement and say he did a great job because he showed you what he could do, he didn't leave anything with me. He took that binder with him. So at the end of the day, when I sit down with my wife to make a decision based on the information we have, guess what? We don't have any of this information. So now we sit here trying to make a decision off of our memory and what we thought he said rather than what he wants us to remember. So perception of presentation is massive. What is the perception when you leave that office, when you leave that home, that the person that you've just left actually remembers? I do a lot of interviews, both for my company and for other companies. And the one thing that I find it's almost humorous to me, is that every time you walk out of an interview, the perception that I have as the interviewer is always different than what the interviewee has. They walk away and they latch on to one or two things, and I walk away latching on to something very different than them. So how do you, as a salesperson, latch on join us on one of our Whiteboard webcasts, and we'll actually talk a lot more about the presentation styles that are out there and how you can be more effective in your specific industry. We'll see you soon at Whiteboard Webcast.